that covered?
Page 26 and 27. Now, today, what we are going over is stuff that you went over last time with expanded form. Okay? Yes? We'll erase them. Okay? Today what we're going to do is we're going to go over expanded form. And I want to go over there is different ways to do it. Okay? 26 and 27. When you're doing expanded form, okay, before we had 482, just plain 482. Last chapter was all whole numbers, okay? And you could do it as 400 plus 80 plus 2. You could also do it as 4 times 100 plus 8 times 10 plus 2 times 1. Okay? 2 different ways of doing it. Okay? Today you're going to run into 3 different ways.
I'll go that way. No, not the number name. No.
Now, please listen, Christian. First one, this 4, the rest of them are zeros. Then I have the 8. If I want, I could put a 0 there. Okay? And I'd have the 8 with 0, that. And then I have the 2 zeros. Now, the next way is I'm going to have 4 times plus 8 times 0.01 plus 2. I'm going to go over it. Now, if you look at the way we did with the whole numbers, it was 4 times 100, then 10, then 1. You're going to go the opposite way here because you're doing the tens, then the hundreds, and then the thousands. Okay? And that's the other expanded form. Then they have one more, in which instead of having a decimal, they're going to use a fraction. So this is 4 times, what would this fraction be? What is it? Take a guess.
1 over 100?
A fraction. What is this? Christian?
1/10.
1/10. Is that 4 times 1/10? Isn't this 1/10? Okay? Plus 8 times, what's this one? 100. 1 over 100. Plus 2 times, what's this? Megan? 1,000. 1 over 1,000. Okay? That's expanded form. Okay? Are we good with that? Luke? You got questions? No, now's the time. Go ahead and ask. Because I'm sure there's somebody else that doesn't have it.
I don't understand it.
Emma?
What will we do for like the whole number? Like if it's 2.482?
Good question. If you had 2.482, I've already got this part down, okay? So what you would do,
That
you're
makes
just
sense.
doing what, it's a ones digit, so it's 2 times 1. If it's in the 8s digit, or the 10s digit, 2 times 8 times 10. Over here on this side, you're making it a 10. On this side, over here, it would be the 10s. It wouldn't be a fraction, it would be a whole number. It's a good question, okay? Megan?
Can you do any of them for when it says like write the expanded form? Can you use any of those?
Yes. Now, the next thing it's gonna ask is the word name. Should we use a Harper rule? Let's use a Harper rule. 2 and Harper rule. What is it? 400. 82,000. Oh, THS at the end. Very good. Thousands. Because if you put, what did I forget?
You forgot the hundred. No, the hundred. That's before the hundred.
No, I'm not gonna say 4 tenths, 800s, and 2,000s. Okay? You're gonna take that whole number. Because if I sat and asked you, what is this number? You just told me, 482,000. You didn't tell me this is 4 tenths, this is a tenths column, 800ths, right? Because remember, Luke, there isn't a once column, 1 THS. There isn't a once column. It starts with the tenths column, okay? So you're not saying, you didn't say this is 4 tenths, 800ths, and 2,000s. You said 482,000s. Whose rule is that?
Harper.
Ethan. Harper's the and. She's the decimal point. Ethan
This is too confusing.
is the whole number.
It's so hard.
No, it's not hard. No, not yet. We'll get everyone for a rule. I get them all. Because we got all sorts of math. Megan,
I call the rule of no home.
listen.
That's me.
Megan's got the floor.
Why is there 2 up there and not in the other one?
Where?
On the 2 point.
Why is this 2 here?
Yeah, not.
That was just answering her question. I just put it to 1. Because she wanted to know what happens
that's the end
when
one.
there's a whole number. Okay? If I were to take this out, I would also take that out. And it would just be 482,000. That's what these are. Okay? Quiet. Let's stay off the rules. Let's stay focused on this. Okay? Yes.
So, say that you're like writing out the whole number in like the parentheses point, you would do, and then like 4 times 10, and then.
This one or this one? Either one you can do.
No, but how you have like the 2 times 1, like, you have the 2 at the, like the whole number of 2. First one.
First one. Then you would put in the rest of this.
Like, how would you do this? Andrew.
With the 2 here,
Yeah.
you would have 2 times 1. In other words, we'd get, make that arrow smaller. And you now 2 times 1 plus,
That's it?
okay?
I see.
All that you're doing is you're putting the 2, this is a whole number, okay? On the left side of the decimal is whole numbers. So you're gonna have your ones, your tens, your hundreds, your thousands, your 10,000s, your 100,000s, into your millions and billions. That we went over last chapter, right? That was all that we did last chapter. We didn't do any of this side of the decimal. This chapter is not working on that, but they do throw in some whole numbers in there, okay? Just to review, to make sure that you still have what we did last chapter. And now they're building on this. They're working to the right side of the decimal point, okay? Yes?
Okay, so my question is about on the practice where it says write the name of the place that is one.
I'm gonna go through the whole practice, okay? Now, in numbers 1 through 6 in your book, it says write the name of the place that is 1/10 times the given place. So in other words, if they tell you
This is
guys, focus. Because when you get to these questions, if you come up and say, what do I do? I've already gone over it. I get upset when you're not listening. Okay? This is the first, it's not the problem, but if it says, what is 1/10 of that place? What place is the 4? Luke, Spence. It's what?
Tenths.
Tenths. So what is 1/10 of a tenth? 100. So in other words, what it's asking you is you start here, what's the place after it? What's the next place to the right? That's 1/10. So if you go from the hundreds, if it says the hundreds, what's 1/10 of the hundreds?
Thousands.
The thousands. The next one over.
That's my rule.
Okay?
That's my rule, guys.
What would be at? Now, Riley's asking a good question. Is there anything after the thousands? What would the next column be? 10,000s. Then the 100,000s. Then you would go to a million. Just like we did going this way, it goes the same that way. Okay? We're just going to the thousands though.
No, there's a 10,000.
The ones place is right here. So what's 1/10 of the ones?
Tenths.
Go to the tenths. Go to the right. One place. Next, it says write as a decimal. They're giving you something like this, or no, something like this. And so you're gonna write just this, not the rest of it. They're giving you something like that, 4 times 1/10. 4 times 1 is 4, over the 10, so 4/10 is 0.4. It's that simple. You're thinking here, but it's real simple, okay? Then it says write an expanded form. They're giving you a number and they want you to write it in expanded form. You can pick which one you want. I'll accept all of them. As long as it is expanded form. As long as you don't put 48 together and 48 times 100. No. It has to be 4 times 0.1, 8 times 0.01, 2 times 0.001, or 0.400 plus 0.80 plus 0.002. Liam.
I'm confused as like the right as a decimal thing. For 6 times 1 as 100,
No. If you're, one thing that you're gonna learn this year is that 6 is actually 6/1. It's a fraction. And with fractions to multiply, you just multiply straight across. Straight across is 6 times 1. 1 times 100. That's gonna equal 6 100ths, which is, as a decimal, 0.06. Because the 6 is now in the hundred spot. If you put it 0.6, that would be 6/10. Okay? Liam? Does that make sense? Okay, good question. Emma?
One more question about the expanded form with the whole number. When you're doing the 0.400 plus 0.080, what would you do for like a whole number? Would you put like 2.0 or?
You could put, another way of doing it is like what you said. You could put 2.0 plus if you want. All you need is 2.
Okay.
Okay? That was the easy part of the whole numbers that we already did. Okay? That's where they're checking to find out if you still, it's review from what we did last chapter, but plus adding on.
For right as a decimal, number 8, since it's like 1 out of 1,000, would you put 2 zeros in front of the number?
Yep. When you have, if you were to multiply it out, you'd end up with 2/1,000. Which is, that's in the thousands, so that's the tenths, that's the hundreds, that's the thousands. Okay? Next, you gotta write an expanded form. They give you a number in word form, and they want you to write it in expanded form. All they're doing is switching these around. You have standard, you have word, and you have expanded. And in 24 through 26, you're doing from word form to expanded form. They give it to you in Word, you write it in expanded. And 17 through 22, you are writing from standard form to expanded form. Okay? In 26 and 27, you're writing from expanded form to word form. That's all that this is. It's these 3 forms, and you're writing them different ways. Okay? And then in 28 through 31, they are giving it to you in expanded form, and you have to write it in Word and standard form. That's all that this is. Okay? Yes?
Number 23, it says 8,012.
23. 8,000 and. What's and? Harper rule. So what does that mean comes, you got 8,000 and. What is the and? Decimal point. So what's before it?
8,000.
8,000 Harper and whatever the rest is. They're giving you a whole number in there.
Okay, so then how would you write that as whatever that thing is?
Is expanded form?
Yes.
That was what we did last chapter. Graham?
Can you explain 26 and 27, please?
6,
26.
26. Write the number name. What they have done is they've given you this one here. Okay? Not this actual problem,
Yeah.
but it's this way. Where they have the 4 times 0.1 plus the 8 times 0.001 plus this. One way of doing this that makes, so you're gonna write down, you're gonna figure out what this number is. And it's easier if you go to write it in standard form, which you sit and look at this and say, oh, it's 0.482. Okay, Graham? If you write it down in standard form, then it makes it so much easier, okay? If you switch it to standard form, then do it, it makes it so much easier. Not yet. I'm gonna send you in just a minute. Cece?
I have a question. Then you could do like, say they're doing expanded form and there's a 0 like in the middle. You don't have to write that down. Like you can kind of just skip it.
No.
Say that.
This one here, for like this one, if I said it was 8,004, we'll just take a guess. And then you would have 4 times 0.1. That's all that it is.
No.
Did I do anything for this 0?
No, not that 0. They're like, say that this is actually the number I'm on. 1.801.
If I do this,
And you're writing expanded form, can't you just kind of like skip the 0 in the middle?
I got 4 times 0.1, then I got 8 times 0.001. Did I put this 0 in there? It's not in here. You can skip it.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Still 2, there's still 2 more periods. No, we don't.
Okay.
That's this side.
Questions?
Those are work times.
Quiet. Yes.
For number 1, for the answer, would you like write the number?
Just put the name. Thousands. All right, I need you to put your books away for right now. I got something else we're doing.